Hi, look at a million Brendas. Look at all of them along the way. Isn't that crazy? Hey guys, it's Brenda Meller, and you're joining me for Facebook Live. And today I'm going to be doing some LinkedIn profile reviews. And before I get started, I just want to move this camera first of all, because it's kind of distracting, I think. And I'm going to say welcome to anybody who's on the session here. So if you're joining us, hopefully you should see this really crazy screen thing that's happening on. It's like this amplification thing, but you're also going to check out my fabulous glasses. Are these awesome or what? They've got little daisies on them, and gosh, it's summer. It feels like it's summer. I guess it's not officially yet, but it feels like summer outside, and I just love these darling little glasses. So I just thought I'd wear them to start us off on the session. So hey, Antoinette, how you doing? So today's Facebook Live is focusing again on LinkedIn, and what I'm going to do today are I'm going to look at a few different profiles on LinkedIn, and I'm going to provide you with an overview and some tips on how to optimize those profiles. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of toggling back and forth between Facebook, where you guys can give me some comments, and also going back onto LinkedIn, where I can actually look at your profiles, and I'm going to be sharing the screen with you so you can watch me as I'm going through this. And the great thing is, if you're watching this live, this is great because you can chime in. If you want me to do a once-over on your profile, all I ask is that you add it to the comments, because then I can just kind of click off on there and go right onto LinkedIn. And if not, if you're just kind of watching along and joining us for the ride, welcome. And I hope you have a great time here today. So I'm going to be kind of toggling back and forth a little bit here, guys. So what we're going to do to start off is I'm going to take us over onto LinkedIn, and hopefully you can see the screen capture here. So if you've ever thought about having somebody who's really knowledgeable about LinkedIn look at your profile, this is the time to do it. And all you need to do is respond in the comments and just let me know your LinkedIn URL address. And then I will go out and do a profile review. I'll do a quick once over on your profile for you. Awesome. So Antoinette has said yes. So I'm going to get going, guys, because we've got about a half hour and I want to keep us on track here. So I'm going to start with my own profile on LinkedIn, and I'm going to share this in the Facebook Live comments with you guys, so that if you're watching the playback of this and you want to look at my profile again, you'll have easy access to it. So when I'm showing you this profile, I want you to keep a couple things in mind. I've been on LinkedIn since 2006, so I'm a very heavy user and I'm a very experienced user. Part of what I do for a living is LinkedIn coaching and training, and I work with individuals and executives, business development teams, job seekers, those in career transition either by choice or maybe because of circumstances of the workplace. So I work with a lot of individuals, and I try to maximize my LinkedIn profile, and I use every character count they give me. I use just about every single area that they allow you to have on your profile, because it helps me to optimize my LinkedIn. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down to this section on my profile just to give you a glimpse of my results on LinkedIn. And I like this LinkedIn dashboard because it kind of says, how are you doing? What's your progress? And I don't live and die by this, but I do strive to always keep this first number level or growing. So this first number represents how many people have viewed my profile in the past 90 days, and that changes on a daily basis. And you can see if you click into this, and I've got the premium version, guys, here. So I can see when I click into this that you can actually see as my LinkedIn activity goes over time, how I'm having spikes and some level of numbers there. But I've been averaging around 120 or so profile views every day, and totaling up to 1,560. So that's one number I look at. The other number I look at is post views. Now when I click on this, it's going to take me to the last time that I posted on LinkedIn, and you can see this was 17 hours ago. And I'm going to go back to that number because that's kind of telling me how many times my last post has been viewed on LinkedIn. So it's a numbers game, guys. The more often you post, the more often your profile is going to be viewed. And the other thing is, as I look through these profiles here today, you're going to see some tips that I will offer you that help you to optimize your profile on LinkedIn. Basically, think about LinkedIn the same way you think about Google. Your goal is to come up in search results. There's a term called SEO, search engine optimization, and what that means is that organizations and individuals are working on increasing their rankings for their web pages. And your goal is to do the same thing on LinkedIn. You want to come up in search appearances. Now, maybe it's for a job seeker, so you want to come up in those searches by recruiters. Maybe you work for an organization and you do business development, so you want your prospective customers to find you for services that you offer. It could be, maybe you're a consultant like me and you want to come up in search results because you are looking for new clients. So either way, I think these three numbers, the more often you come up in search results, the more often people will look at your profile. And if you post daily on LinkedIn, guys, I have to say this is really effective. You're going to get more profile views and you're going to see a big change in your activity on LinkedIn. So that's one area. And then I want to scroll down here to, actually I'm going to go back up here for a second, to your summary section on LinkedIn. And you'll see here, LinkedIn allows you 3 lines here. On mobile, it's a little bit shorter, so pay attention to where it cuts off. I think on mobile, this is how much text will show. So it shows from inspirational marketing and social leader up to the COM and companies on mine. So I make sure that those first few words are front loaded, top heavy. My goal is to get you to click on show more, but I'm writing this in case you don't. Because I like to say people are lazy. What I mean by that, I don't really think people are lazy, but it's going to take a lot to get somebody to click on show more. Most people won't. So if you can get something compelling enough in those first few sentences, you may get some of those additional clicks on there. So when I click on show more, you're going to see I have a really well-advanced summary statement on LinkedIn. LinkedIn gives you 2,000 characters. I think I've used 1,988. And I look at this all the time and I tweak it and I modify it. But I'm going to keep those top 3 lines together because I want to maximize my space. And then I'm going to use spacing in between lines. And I like to write my summary statement in small stackable chunks. So no more than 2 to 3 lines on a desktop at a time, because of the fact that when I go into mobile, everything gets consolidated and squished, and then a 2-sentence paragraph becomes 12 sentences. So I want to write things, short sentences and make sure that I have breaks in there so it's really skimmable. The other thing I do is, as a marketer, I use emojis instead of bullets. So that works for me and for my industry. Think about whether or not that might work for you. And this is a tip I actually picked up from John Asperian, and I'm going to actually pull up his profile in another page here because he's somebody that I think you should definitely look up on LinkedIn. He always has really great tips on how to maximize your exposure on LinkedIn, and also he's a copywriter, so he really gets, understands web traffic and how to optimize your profile. So I'm going to just pop back in here and give you guys John Asperian's link to look at. And while I'm here, I'm going to say hi, Chris Meller. Chris is my husband. He is awesome. He's very supportive of me and my business. And while I'm out on LinkedIn, I'm going to grab Chris's profile as well. Guys, I have to say, he's got a really good LinkedIn trainer. And, he's continuing to work on his presence on LinkedIn, and he's got a great trainer who's helping him with that. So you can see the evolution of his profile as well out here. So moving along, I'm just going to go back into my profile. So you'll see I do some different techniques. I do snackable chunks and make sure that I have calls to action. I want to make it real easy for people to contact me if they want to do business with me. So I have my website, I have an email, and then I also summarize, what are the top things that I'm looking to sell or offer, and I put those at the top of my profile. And then I also talk about some other areas of expertise that I have, content marketing, I'm a big networker. And then this chunk right here, guys, the specialties list, I write this not for you as a human being to read, but I write this for the internet search engines and the LinkedIn search engines to pick up. And I want to make sure that if I want to be found for content marketing or for digital marketing or for social media, that I'm using those keywords several places throughout my profile. So you can see it starts with the top. In my headline, I have the word social media. I have the word LinkedIn. And you'll see that some of those same words and phrases are actually going to appear in different places throughout my profile, certainly in the summary statement. And then as we scroll down, you're going to see under my specialties, I have personal goals. So I have a couple of different things there. Speak at TED, whether that's TEDx Detroit or some other organization, that's one of my goals. And then I have some of my philosophies, and it just helps to kind of tell you a little bit about who I am and what are some of the things that I believe in life. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. If a year from now, you'll wish that you started today. So those are some of my Brenda-isms. And then at the bottom of my summary, I've included media. And you can put just about anything in here, guys. You can put a JPEG. You can put a PDF. You can see here, I've actually put a log. So when I click on View Source, it's going to take me to that blog so you can read that. I've also included some videos. And this was something that was recorded at a recent Sterling Heights Chamber of Commerce event, and you can see a video clip of me in there as well. So I'm really doing a great job of kind of showcasing what I offer and then also giving you illustrations of that experience. So that kind of covers off your summary statement. Moving down below, you can see you can click really quickly through to see your articles, which are your LinkedIn blogs, and your other activity. And then also, looks like we got a little hiccup here. Let me just refresh this. You should see in your experience section, you should see next to your company name, you should see your company logo. If that is properly linked, when I click on that logo, it's going to take me to my LinkedIn company page. So if you are self-employed, if you are a consultant, but even if you are an employee of an organization, you want to make sure that in your experience section, you don't see gray, because guys, gray is not okay. Gray means either the company is not properly linked on your LinkedIn profile, or it may not be in business anymore. So I'm going to scroll down and you're going to see a couple on my profile a little bit lower. So I used to work for Media Play, and that's actually where I met my husband, Chris. And Media Play has since gone out of business. Musicland Corporation, they do not have a LinkedIn company page. So here, gray is a little bit okay because it does not exist. It's not possible. But you can see that was many years ago. All of my other employers, you can see that they are linked and their logo is appearing there and it's linking to their pages on LinkedIn. So in your experience section, I want to make sure that you have a nice description of what is your company, what do you do, what do you offer, and perhaps include some calls to action. Don't make it difficult for them to get a hold of you if they want to buy your products and services, guys. Make it real easy for them. And then look at, adding in keywords and phrases. Again, I put a list of specialties in here, and I use the media section. Okay, so that's kind of it. I'm not going to go too much deeper into my profile because what I want to do now is actually go out onto your profile. So I'm just going to pop on my Facebook feed here just for a second and see if there's any comments. And it looks like we are good to go. I'm actually live, so those of you who joined us late, this is a real thing. This is a real show. If you were on the last session, you remember the spoon. And Chris, I don't know if you watched the playback yet. I told the whole story about the spoon. And I'm going to ask you about it tonight when you come home, so you better watch the playback before you get home tonight. Just to let you know, no pressure. All right, so let's do some profile review. So starting with Antoinette, and Antoinette and I are co-leaders of Inforum. We run an affinity group that meets at Troy, at Welsh College in Troy, and Antoinette and I are volunteer leaders of that group with a few other individuals. So she gave me her profile to give a once over, so I'm going to kind of give you a look at her profile from top to bottom. So a couple of things I look for in the imagery at the top, guys. I look to see if your headshot is pleasant, professional, smiling, and that your face is about 50% of the circle. The reason for that is that about 50% of web traffic nowadays is done on a mobile device. And when you are looking on a phone, it's really difficult sometimes for us to see you if you have from head to feet, or even like from your top of your head to your waist. It's really difficult for us to see who you are. So Antoinette, I think you do a great job. Beautiful photo, looks professional, friendly, all those wonderful things. The other thing I look for, guys, is her background image. And I like to see an image that aligns with her organization or with her personal or professional brand. And it's always better to have something, which is what Antoinette has, a color effect in the background, versus just a generic LinkedIn background, which is that teal blue with the dots and the connecting lines. So great job there. Antoinette, you've also modified your headline, and by default, many of you may know that LinkedIn will put job title at company as your headline, and you can modify that. You have up to 120 characters to modify. And what I'm going to do is just show you a quick search here. So Antoinette calls herself a certified coach, speaker, trainer. So if I type in the word speaker in here, I just want to kind of give you a glimpse at what happens here. So when I look at the search results for people that have the word speaker, you can see all I'm seeing is the headshot photo, the name, and their job title, and then what area they're located in. So I want to make sure, I can make out your face in there, but also, how does your headline help to define who you are? There's a couple other individuals who are calling themselves coach, author, speaker, motivational speaker, author, speaker, therapist. So she's got maybe some other angles with what she's doing. Speaker, trainer, coach, author, speaker, coach, motivational speaker, TEDx speaker, and socialpreneur. So you can see, guys, here that this headline is really important because it's all people are going to see until they click on your profile. So you want to make sure that you are differentiating yourself and that you have something that's broad. So Antoinette, one suggestion I may have is just to give yourself some additional adjectives in there. What type of a coach are you? Are you a business coach? Are you a motivational coach, inspirational coach, financial services coach? Kind of tell us a little bit about that. And speaker and trainer, give us a little bit more background on what type of speaking engagements and what type of training do you do? So I'm going to go back to my profile for just a second here. And I originally had, I think I had marketing consultant, and I kind of expanded it out. So now I say I help people and businesses with marketing and social media, presenter, LinkedIn coach, marketing consultant. And that's what's going to come up in search results when people look at my name in the search results. So that's one thing. Okay, so the next thing we look at is her summary statement, and I'm looking at the 3 lines in here. And one thing I'd like to see in here is this be written in the first person. So Antoinette, I would just change that up a little bit and think about the summary statement not like it needs to match your resume. Really make it your story. Who are you and why are you using LinkedIn, and why should someone connect with you? So I know you, Antoinette, and I know you've got a great story. So I'd like to see you expanding that out a little bit. This feels a bit more corporate to me, and I'd like to see something that is more in alignment with who you are as a coach, speaker, and trainer. And use it in first person. I'm an experienced coach who is passionate about leading other individuals to meet their personal goals, just as an example. So that's one thing I'd like to see. A couple other things on here. I'm scrolling down to your experience section. I see that you do have it properly linked to your profile for your company page there. And then you've got some descriptions. So another thing I would just add is a call to action in here. If people want to get a hold of you, make it real easy for them. They certainly can. If I go back up here, click on see contact info, they certainly can find your Gmail from here and message you that way. But make it easy for them so they don't have to kind of search around for that. All right, so hopefully that was helpful for you, Antoinette. And I'm going to move on now to Josh. And Josh was somebody, I think he found me by way of my LinkedIn post yesterday. And so a couple things on here. Josh, headshot photo, professional, pleasant, smiling. So you've got, it looks like maybe a computer screen or a window in the background, which is creating a little bit of a distracting glare. And I'm guessing this may be a selfie. I'm not sure, but it doesn't look as professional and polished as I would like. It does look pleasant, you look friendly, you look approachable. I like all of those things, but I'd like to see something either with a cleaner background if you are doing your self picture, but try to reduce that glare so it does look a little bit more polished. And then, what I'm kind of noticing right away too, Josh, is you have administrative professional as your job title, and I'm noticing this picture in the background, and I'm trying to figure out the connection. How does that line up with your personal or professional brand rather? And when I clicked on your summary statement, I noticed at the bottom you talk about you're also running a food blog where you review local restaurants and share cooking related insights. So what you are trying to do on LinkedIn, your goal is to be very succinct, to be very targeted. So you want to make sure that your job title is supporting your header image, and the header image and their job title are supporting your summary statement. So I'm just seeing a little bit of fragmentation here. It says administrative professional, I'm seeing food. You're talking about that a bit in your summary statement, but I'd like to see something that's a little bit more cohesive with those 3 elements. I'm not sure if you're looking to maybe start going into a career path with food on a full-time basis, but the food thing is throwing me off a little bit, Josh. So I'd like to see maybe something a little different in there, or maybe change that job title to aspiring food blogger or something else in there that kind of helps to explain that. So hopefully that helps you out there. And then you do have your resume on here, Josh. I would take that off. The reason being, I like to know who has my resume and why they want it. There are certain positions you may not wish to apply for, and I'm not sure if you have your personal information on there, home address, things like that, but you might want to just take that off. So I would not put your resume in your media section. I would only provide a resume upon request by individuals. And then Josh, here too, gray is not okay. So if this organization has a company page, make sure that it is linked on your profile as well. So hopefully that helps you out, Josh. I'm not sure if you're joining us here. Does not look like he is on. So I'm going to keep going along here because we've got about maybe 5-10 minutes. I may go just a few minutes over here. So next we have Donna, and Donna is a connection that I've had for a little while. I think we met through Walsh. And I think she saw my post on LinkedIn perhaps about this event. Maybe she saw it on Facebook. But at any rate, so kind of looking at the profile here. So Donna, we've got the headshot photo here. It looks a little bit grainy, so I'd like to see if there might be something else that you could put in its place. If not, I think it's okay because it looks pleasant, professional, smiling, you're looking forward. Just the resolution's a little bit fuzzy on here. So I worry about how that might look on mobile. And then your background, you've got this default background image on here, so I would recommend that you change it. And I'm going to go into my profile just to show you. What you do is just click on that pencil icon, and then you click on this pencil icon at the top. You see here that LinkedIn is going to tell you this is the size that it recommends. If you can find an image that's rectangular and you can drop it in there, and actually I'm going to click on this so you can see. I can actually reposition things around and whatnot. Now I've sized my image perfectly based on the proportion, and I'm using a tool called canva.com. I'm not going to load this up right now, but I'm going to grab the address for you guys, and then I'm going to put it in the Facebook page here. So you can use this, and it's a free tool. It's great for graphic design, for social media, and creating headers on your LinkedIn profile, things like that. And that's the tool that I use. I actually uploaded this color treatment, and then I put some text on top of it. And you'll notice here that everyone is getting this new LinkedIn profile view. In our desktop mode, our faces are shifting to the left. So we want to make sure that we're keeping this area pretty clear on the left. But on mobile view, it's still in the middle. So we want to make sure that we're not putting anything behind that where your face would appear in the middle on mobile so that it gets blocked. So that's where you would go in and change that. And I would say, Donna, at minimum, try to make sure that it is updated with something that is representative of your personality and, more importantly, your professional brand. So, Donna, I think you messaged me and you told me a little bit about your story where you and your husband had a restaurant and you're pursuing a marketing degree, and it looks like you're graduating in June. So congratulations, it's June, you're graduating soon. How exciting. Again, I would take your resume off of here, Donna, and I would just expand this summary statement out a bit. Tell us, you have a restaurant owner with a passion for marketing and customer service. Tell us how you're using LinkedIn, what types of connections you would like to make. Are you looking to expand your restaurant business and connect with fellow marketing professionals who work in food service and, in similar industries? Or, tell us a little bit about your story. Right now, I'm not quite sure. It's a restaurant owner with a passion for marketing and customer service. You're currently a student, but you're going to be graduating. So what's next after graduation? That's what I'd like to know for you. And if I click on see contact info, you do have an email in here. And Donna, I just changed mine over from a Hotmail to a Gmail, and I had somebody suggest this to me. Because of the fact that Hotmail doesn't really exist anymore, Gmail shows that you're being more contemporary, and it might just be a suggestion to have that email address changed on your profile. And then just scrolling down here, Donna, I'm not sure if you have a company page on LinkedIn for Great Lakes Family Dining. If not, create one. All you need to do is go under this work icon, scroll down to the bottom, click on create a company page. I do offer services to help organizations get their company pages up. So if you need some help with that, let me know. But you certainly can do that, yourself free of charge, and just kind of build that out. And that way you can put your company logo in here and you may get some additional traffic from LinkedIn. I guess this Facebook is probably a better audience for you. But again, every opportunity you have to use your LinkedIn profile, why not use it, right? So that's kind of a once over there on Donna. So Donna, hopefully that was helpful for you. And Tracey, hello Tracey. I don't know if you're on or not, but you were referred to me, I believe, by John Esperian, my friend over the pond, if you will. And he suggested you come onto the session. So a couple things right away I would suggest on your profile. Your headshot photo, it looks like the lighting is not really great. It's a little bit too dark on the right-hand side. There may have been a window or something on your left-hand side of the photo here. So I'd like to see just something with a little bit more even lighting on it. You're pleasant, smiling, looking forward, and your face is 50%. You've got all of those things that are started off, and you look approachable. And I think with what you're doing, you're a self-employed marketing consultant, you want to definitely be approachable, but you also want to make sure that you're putting your best face forward there. And those are just some small things to think about. So you can see here on Tracey's profile, she's put her text on the right, which is perfect because it's not going to get covered up on mobile. And I also like where she has start conversations that get you noticed. So she's doing a little bit of advertising for herself in her profile, similar to what I do on my profile. Do you have the new LinkedIn profile view? I use that as a heading at the top. So you have self-employed marketing consultant at Gateshead College. And one thing I might suggest, Tracey, is do you need to have self-employed, or could you just say marketing consultant? Think about, whether that works or not. If there may be some confusion about, you're an employee versus an independent contractor and you need to leave it, that's fine. But just something that an immediate observation I had. In your summary statement, you've got 3 lines that are showing here. Let's see what happens when I click on show more. So Tracey, I think you do a nice job of explaining your business. Your personality is coming out in here. and you're being very clear on what type of clients that you're seeking. You're providing your contact information. If you add a keyword list, Tracey, that's going to help you to come up in more of those search results. And I see that you do have some media in here. You've got 11, so that's wonderful, because these are great examples of what you can do for your clients. So I think definitely you've done a nice job there. Scrolling down here, Gateshead College is not linked on your profile, so if they do have a company page, I would try to get them LinkedIn linked on there. And then if you do have your own business, which it looks like you do, Transcend You, start your own company page on LinkedIn and then put your company logo in here. It just helps to create a sense of you. Yes, you are definitely a legitimate business for people who might be looking at your profile. And it also creates a sense of a brand that, you know, you're well established as an organization. And I think that could definitely help you out. And I think you do a great job here of putting your contact information in there as well. So nice job, Tracey. Hopefully that helps you. And guys, I've got one more profile, and I'm going to see if you guys have any questions. But I saved the best for last, Gehan. Gehan and I met through, gosh, I don't know if it was in Forum or Troy Chamber, or I don't know, I just see her in different places. And I most recently saw her at Motor City Connect with Terry Bean. And I'm going to give you guys Terry Bean's profile here in Facebook, because Terry's a great guy to be connected with. And I'm reading Terry's book right now. It's called Be Connected, I believe. So check him out and buy a copy of his book, because it's amazing and I'm learning new things. I'm already a pretty good networker, but I'm learning some new techniques from Terry, and I think he does a really great job with that. All right, so anyways, G and I were at Terry's Motor City Connect event, and she mentioned to me that she's going to be doing a career transition and actually a relocation to Texas. So one thing she asked me to focus on her profile was, you know, how do I find, you know, jobs and opportunities and make connections? So what I'd like to see on here, Gehan, is, you know, spend a little bit of time looking through advanced search. But, you know, actually, before we go through that, let me just show you one thing. So if I click on your summary statement, you do a nice job of explaining who you are. You've got some great keywords in here. Current status, gun code for the unknown, sinking temp project work in Detroit while pending reload and permanent ops in DFW. Now, when I first saw that, I was thinking DTW, Detroit Airport. So you may just want to spell out Dallas-Fort Worth in there, because, again, people like me are just seeing things quickly and it could be a misinterpretation. So spell that out, and specifically what type of temp and project work are you looking for? My guess is you're looking at human resources consulting based on your profile and based on what I know about you, but you want to be super specific and help your network understand what type of work that you're seeking in that area. You do a great job of having your personality and enthusiasm come out. Your words to live by, I think, are really nice. Value adds and success. This is nice, because this is kind of like, what do you get from working with me? I think you do a nice job there, and you've got some good expertise in there as well. So just focus overall, Gehan, on making your profile super targeted. Take out the things you don't want to do anymore, and let people know specifically what are you seeking in a full-time or in a consulting role. So the other thing I would recommend is you use your LinkedIn search, and maybe you think about finding other people. And I'm just going to type in HR consultant as an example here, and I'm going to click on the search bar. And what I want you to do is go into people, and then when you're in this section, I want you to go into all filters, and I am going to look at Dallas. So I'm just going to type in Dallas-Fort Worth area, and then I'm going to click on apply. And I'm using the free version for all of this, guys. There is some additional things I can get with my premium, but this is the free version of LinkedIn. So I click on apply, and I put HR consultant in Dallas-Fort Worth, and look at all these people are coming up. So Gehan, your homework is to go through and connect with these individuals. And once you make those connections, let them know you're considering a move to that area, and you're wondering if they could recommend any networking events or any groups that they belong to on LinkedIn, and let the conversation come up where they might say, what are you looking for? And they may have other opportunities. You can connect with people like Tabitha. She's a HR talent acquisition consultant seeking a new opportunity. You know, she may hear of positions that she either isn't interested in or not qualified for that she could refer over to you. So start with, you know, a very targeted approach. Find people like you that are in that area and make connections and make friends. As you do trips out there, Gehan, to make sure you try to meet with these people in person. Try to, if you can, attend networking events while you're out there. But certainly, I think at the level that you're at in your career, you're going to find your next opportunity through networking. So you need to create that network and expand that network, and just really focus in on that. All right, guys, so I'm going to just pop this up on here. I'm going to put my video back on because that video thing is like, wow, it's a million Brendas out on there. So that kind of covers off where I'm at. It's about 12:34. We started just a few minutes late, so I took liberties and I went a couple minutes late on the back end there. But hopefully this was helpful for you. I do want to just kind of close with letting you guys know that I do LinkedIn coaching and consulting as part of my business for Meller Marketing. And I love working with people to help them unlock the potential of their LinkedIn. So we did a quick review today. And when I work with you on an individual basis, I'll spend about 2 hours with you going through your LinkedIn profile. And I'll actually show you some different tips on optimizing your presence on LinkedIn so that you can have those stellar results and help you to reach your business and professional goals. So again, Brenda Meller with Meller Marketing. I'm going to leave you with my LinkedIn URL here and then the Facebook page. I'm going to toggle back into here for a second. And I'm just going to drop that in here. If we are not yet connected, I should say, on LinkedIn, do send me an invitation to connect. I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn and share additional tips through my LinkedIn homepage feed. And if you're in the market for some help with LinkedIn, do let me know. I also do team training sessions. And if you're interested in hearing me speak live, you can actually go to my website, mellermarketing.com. I'm going to put this link in here as well. I do have a couple of speaking engagements coming up. I'm going to pop this in here for a second. And I can just kind of tell you a little bit about where I'm going to be coming up here. So you can see on June 6th, which is next week, I believe this is Wednesday. It is Wednesday, June 6th. I'm going to be joining my friends at the Sterling Heights Chamber. And I'm going to be doing some tips on how to, I'm just going to pull up Melody's profile here, tips on how to use social media to, let's see, 7.5 techniques to guide leads into sales using social media and pie. So if you know me, you know I love pie, and that's something that will be in my presentation. So check that out. I'm just put Melanie Davis's invite in here, rather her LinkedIn URL in here as well. Melanie is the president of the Sterling Heights Chamber, and she was the person who was so kind to invite me to speak at that event. So do send her a LinkedIn invitation. And then I've also got an event coming up with the American Businesswomen's Association, and that's in Auburn Hills on Tuesday, June 19th. Scrolling down, I'm going to be at Walsh Novi on Wednesday, June 20th, doing a talk about starting your own business and talking a bit about my journey from working in corporate to a solopreneur for Meller Marketing. And then later on in June, I'm going to be speaking with Terry Barclay, who is the CEO of Inforum, and Terry and I are going to be doing a presentation called Brand Networking, the Art of Meeting for Coffee. So we're going to be talking a bit about, building your personal brand and how to build strategic connections. You can see some of the key takeaways on there. And you can also check out Scott Lawrence. He's going to be doing a headshot mini session at that event. I'm going to give you guys Scott Lawrence's profile as well. Now, Scott, I have to just pause and say is awesome because he did my LinkedIn headshot photo. Look at how awesome that is. I am so happy with it. And I had, been working in corporate for a while before launching my business. And one of the things I wanted to do was make sure that everything in my new image was kind of lining up with who I am now as an individual. And you can see here, I did this blog, and I kind of showed the evolution. This was my LinkedIn headshot back in 2011, then I had a 2015, 2016, and they're all nice, but I'm in suits, kind of corporate looking. And I wanted it to be still professional, but approachable, a little bit more relaxed. So I've changed my attire. I've got this bright pink, which is something that lines up with my, my brand palette for Meller Marketing. I also just wanted to make sure that it was kind of current, and we change, our hairstyles change throughout the years, as you can see here, and I wanted to make sure that it looks like me. So when you meet me in person, you shouldn't say, oh, that doesn't look like you at all. I want to make sure that it's a good look, and Scott did just an amazing job, and I would highly recommend checking him out, connecting with him on LinkedIn, following him on Facebook as well, because he does a really great job of helping people to look their best. And I actually found his picture through the Troy Chamber. He did their photos, and I was so impressed that I decided to join them as well for my headshots. So I think that's about it, guys. I'm just looking. I don't think there's any final comments in here on from the audience. And I know a couple of you are going probably on your lunch breaks. You're going to be going back to work. So I want to make sure to get you back in there in time. And hopefully this was helpful for you. This was kind of my pop-up Facebook Live. Sometimes I schedule these a little bit further in advance. And I'm going to be doing some other topics in the future here. Let me go back here for just a second because I have a live link on here as well. So virtual webinars and virtual events. And Some of the topics I'm looking at for the future are how to use LinkedIn for your job search without alerting your current employer. And if you don't know how to use LinkedIn still, but it's 2018, you're not alone. I'm going to be covering that. Marketing basics for the non-marketer. I'll talk a bit about how to use your Twitter account if you still don't know how to use that. The basics of a LinkedIn company page, and then how to create a blog on LinkedIn. And those are some of the upcoming topics. So that's it for today, guys. I'm going to wrap this up and get the rest of my afternoon started. So have a great afternoon. Happy Pie Day Friday for those of you who are also pie lovers. And we'll see you soon. Take care. Thanks.